Hey guys, SmartNinja000 here, and today I made a working menorah, like the Hanukkah menorah, since it's the last day of Hanukkah. It's a little bit late. Probably should have done this on the first day, but it took me a while to actually get the redstone to work. You can do this in vanilla, and it's a working menorah in vanilla Minecraft. Now, what you do typically for your Hanukkah is you will take your lighter, and you have your candles set up, and you will light them. So you'll go like this, then this, and on the next day you'll do the same thing, this, then this, then this, and on the next day, and it just keeps continuing. So this one will go first, and you just keep going it up until 8 days. That's the way it works. You can see I've done lots and lots of tests. This one uses redstone lamps, but you can use flint and steel. That's pretty easy to set up, and I'll show you how to actually do that. But right now it is daytime, so we're going to switch it over to night with this little thing, and you can see we have our first lights activate. Let's switch it back over to day. The lights will go off, and then it works pretty nicely. It just keeps going up, and it's kind of festive. Next, I think this is pretty cool. I've seen people make working or like chimneys and stuff for Christmas, but I haven't really seen too much Hanukkah stuff, so I thought I'll make something for Hanukkah. Now the story behind Hanukkah is, well, basically a oil lasts for 8 days instead of 1 day. That's the story. So you'll see it's the last day. We've gone through 8 days, and it lights all the way up. Now the way this works, if you want to build this in survival, it's really easy. There's probably a more compact way, but it does use tons and tons of comparators. There's definitely a more compact way, but this works, and I'm going with it. Okay, so we're actually just going to set it today, just so we have better light source. But the first thing you're going to want to do is make yourself this little system here. So what we have is we have 2 droppers, one of them with 8 golden axes, or wooden axes, or any non-stackable items. You could do cakes, any non-stackable item. You want to have 8 of those in a dropper facing into another dropper. You'll want your daylight detector, and you'll want to place it so there's a distance of 3 to the hopper, and 3 down here with a 2-tick delay to a piston with some sand. I just did it like this so that way it's a little bit easier. You could move it up a block, but that's just the way I did it because for whatever reason it was glitching out. You'll want to place a comparator back here, and what this does is this outputs a signal. So actually, if this isn't powered, it's going to output the signal slightly after, and the reason for that is just so there's a slight delay. It's not instantaneous. But then the redstone will go through here, and what happens is the redstone actually goes directly from this as soon as it's powered. So as long as there's power, it will come right over to here into the first lamp, and that is after 3 ticks. You can see 1, 2, 3. Then we carry the signal for 5 comparators. Now comparators are actually slightly longer than pistons. You can see, at least this is in the Java edition. I don't believe this is a way for the Windows 10 edition, but you can see no matter where it is, it's always going to activate slightly after. So it's not technically, but it's close enough. So then what we do is then we just set up this nice little system here. This is it. It's one delay, 2 delay, 2 delay, 3 delay with the comparators in the corresponding order. You could make this 3 delay and this be 4 delay and put a redstone nest here, but again, I just wanted it to look nice, so that's what we're doing. You could probably also shorten this down, but I just did it this way for. So what happens actually is, if I just replicate time being added, you'll notice this is put in, and we actually can't see the redstone power, but you can see the redstone power is 2. Now comparators keep the redstone power, so this, if I place this here, you'll notice this is also 2, and this is 1. So what's happening here is we're detecting what the power is from this, and if I just, I'm gonna have to replace that wire. you'll notice this is now 4. So what you might think, oh well, it's 2 every time. It's actually not. As you'll see, we move over 1, it's only going to actually go up by 1, I believe. And it went up by 1, so this is actually 5 power here, and then it continues on. And then the next one, I believe, is 2. As you can tell, it should be 2. And it goes for 2 more, and then it stops just short of this. So basically we're going for the minimum length, and we're just copying the signal over. And we have 3 little comparators underneath this redstone wire. And this is 1, and then the next one it should go 2, I believe. I should probably, it's either 2 or 1, but both of them work by the setup. It's 2. So there's a strength of 2 it ends up with. But that's okay, because then we copy this and just paste it over there. And I like this just because it's super simple. You could of course change this up. So it's nice and neat. I think it's a really cool way to do this. Of course, if you want it to look more realistic, that is not too difficult. Okay, so what we did for this example, the reason I didn't show this off is basically we made it slightly taller so it looks more menorah-like. You would add some blocks here, and you could do there's some cool tricks you can do to make this even better. You wouldn't want to use trapdoors because it would be opening and shutting, but you would want to use your good old signs. And oh, you can play signs. I thought it was, never mind. But yeah, you basically decorate it. So you can't use signs, and I don't believe you can. Yeah, you can't use item frames, but you can decorate it with your banners. So yeah, and you just do something like this because they drop down, so it looks pretty decent. It gets a little bit messy when you try and do it like I was doing, but yeah, you can make it look decent. And we're just going to place like that. Like this, and I guess on this one we can put it all the way around because it's the middle and it's the most important. On this side we can put them. I guess we can just do something like this, so you can make it look nice. But yeah, so now you have your nice yellow menorah. And obviously, if we change the night, we should have our 6 days. Oh, the redstone wiring. Okay, so the redstone wire was powered. We can fix it. It should work now. Like that. Really cool. Problem is, since we use this block just because it looks nice, we now have to wait for it. It will never go off. But I think it's a cool little contraption you could put in your server or your survival world just to celebrate it. It works really nicely. All you need is, and there we go, there's our 8 days, which it is today, I believe. At least when the video uploads, it should be today. This is actually going to be pre-recorded, but yeah. So it's really nice. And I guess if you're doing this, you want to look the best you would do something like this probably. So yeah, there's lots of different possibilities for this. I think it's a cool little idea you can try in your worlds. Now that does not look too shabby, if I do believe. If you're wondering how I did this, there's just 2 redstone torches, so it goes up a bit. And if you hide it correctly with the banners, I don't think it looks too bad. So that is a working menorah using redstone. Now, before we end this video, I'm just going to real quick explain why this actually works. Comparators, they detect the number of items, and it can output a signal strength, which is why this works. This is a delay. This is actually fire charges, which you probably saw, and fire charges can shoot through as many blocks as they want to hit the highest block, as long as there's blocks in between. I believe that should work. Right? Oh no, I'm sorry. It works like that. So you can place it through one block. You can also do. This should work. I think, right? I don't know. I haven't messed around too much with them. No, you can't. Sorry, guys. You can't do it like that. But you can send fire charges onto stuff, not down like that. But you could do something like, I don't know. Something like, if you can just get that in fast enough. Well, yeah, you get the point. But yeah, so fire charges work like that. It also works sideways. Sideways is the better example because you can see it just goes nicely. Say if you wanted to shoot it, if you wanted it to be more dramatic, you could actually have it shoot across and set wood on fire. So if you want to see that, I'm going to set that up in a sec. Okay, so for this test, as you can see, we have it shoot just a small distance. The only reason we're doing a small distance is, well, you'll see in a second, the problem with fireballs is they can move ever so slightly in one of the opposite directions. So here, if I just set the dispenser over here, and if I place a block, if I just want to fly forward, if I place a block right here, it should hit this block. Exactly, that is perfectly centered, and to prove that, I'm just going to fill this area with stone. Should be one thick. Yep, it is. Now if we power this, you notice it's not going to hit that. That's probably because I didn't put any fire charges in there. Okay, we got our fire charges. And you'll notice it goes completely off and hits over there. And actually, I think I forgot to put fire charges in these. Okay, never mind, I didn't. But you can see it goes slightly off. And the reason for that is, well, it doesn't have a completely perfect motion. So you'll notice it's going up. It looks like it's going more up. And you'll notice it's not even going in the same. It goes to that side. Oh, and look at that. It didn't even go the whole way down. So it is not perfect. It is nowhere near perfect. That was really close, actually. And the best way to see this is actually taking a command block from this and doing, I believe it is fire. Yeah, it's just a fireball. So if we do execute at type equal fireball, because we're in 1.12, and then we want to do backslash particle and rod. And rod is a nice one to use for this case. I believe that should work. It did not. Yeah, let me just fix the command. Here's the fix. It's actually called small fireball. So if we just fly over here, you'll notice it is going completely wrong. What's actually cool about it is you can see it does it in dots, even though this is running 20 times a second. You can see it's actually going faster as it goes. So I think that's cool. But you can just see it go, and I went. That time it ended up in the right spot. That's cool. But yeah, that's the problem with it. Anyways, here we are at our thing, and we are, I believe, on the last day. Yep. So if I just activate this, I should probably give it a second to register. Oh well, I didn't need to do that. We hit almost all of them. Looks like we just missed the main one. And it did spread though, and it's going to actually burn all that down. So if you do want a working menorah that's more realistic, the menorah does, or the candles actually burn, you would probably make these bottom blocks some different thing, like, what's a non-burning nether brick. Of course, this is a lot more dangerous, as it's about, like, 4 times the player. There you go, a working menorah. Now it's already running out, but that's it. Working menorah. And in case you want to copy it real quick, this is the redstone. So we have 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3. Actually, this is 2, sorry. So 1, 2, 2, 3. So that side's the same as this side, actually. And there is 3 comparators in between this. Down here we have a distance from the night detector of 3 to 2 droppers filled with 8. And a comparator with a 2-tick delay into a piston. This is a regular piston. Oh, a sticky piston, but it could be a regular piston. With 2 sand on top. We have a comparator. We have 5 comparators here. This is at a 3-tick delay, although it could change. I just did 3 because of the distance I had to go. So that is pretty much it. Well, that's pretty much it. If you guys want to see me do more redstone tutorials, I mean, it's not really a tutorial, it's more of a showcase, but I did show off how to actually do it. If you want to make this in your own world, then be sure to leave a like and write a comment for some ideas you could have me try and make. This did take a while though, so I don't know how often these will be. Anyways, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, because we do, well, we mostly do command blocks, but we might get into more redstone stuff because that's kind of like command blocks. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope to see you in a future episode. Okay, bye.